folks, welcome to another episode of Bluecoats. I'm Strash, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at StrashA. I was super pumped after last game. I was super excited to get back into this, but we had a slight hiccup last week, so we're actually going to be playing tonight and again a week from now. So yeah, well, let's see what we can do about this case with a mysterious assassin that's starting to work with Dustfall Games. Lauren, tell us about yourself.
Yes, I'm Lauren. I use she, they, and I am likewise at the StrayQB on Twitter. Oh my god, yeah, it's been at times, like, some of the specifics are a bit fuzzy, but I cannot wait to dig more into this, assassin case, the super badass who's going around, killing people, and also, where the apex of that meets, our personal troubles with, getting possessed by ghosts, and how that, will impact how we go about this case, and if that'll, cause some distraction. I guess very keen to dig into it. How about you, Judd?
I am excited to get back. I'm super excited. I've got all my little clocks from last game all set, and I'm ready to roll. Very excited. Yay!
Okay, so shall we just jump in?
Yeah. Where did we leave it last game?
Okay, so I think let me see if I can remember all the details here. I believe that last game the case started with. Hang on, I have notes. Haha. We had the it's not the mayor, it's the governor. The governor of Dustfall showed up with Roland Starn, who's a lady that was a Unity War veteran who apparently ran the program that trained tiny assassins. So she got a whole bunch of orphans, and the last of them that she believes is alive was sent to go kill the King and Queen of Scotland, which happened 3 years ago or 2 years ago. It's very not very long ago. And she believed that this person accomplished their mission, which is what ended the Unity War, and they died in the process of doing it, except that now we're starting to see people with unique markings that indicate that she may be back. So we went to Little Scov. We went to a bar called the... Help me out here.
Old Forge.
The Old Forge. And they never have anything for me to drink, which is awesome because I'm a Bluecoat. I managed to chase some vandals, and I discovered that the Bluecoats on the scene are kind of egging them on. And apparently, Maya had a nice, happy discussion with Ulf Ironborn twice. But the first time, she found out that Ulf had indeed met with this assassin. They got some billhooks decided to come in and start trouble. The assassin murdered all of them. We decided to go talk to the billhook leader, who was in Ironhook prison. We had a cool little interrogation scene inside a water tank. And it got flooded, and I managed to save his life. And the Ironhook decided to hide him, and I think he's on a boat right now. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I think so.
Yeah, I think a barge or something. Yeah.
He's on a prison barge. Yep.
He's on a prison barge, and so we also discovered after this whole flooding / rescue of this person / this person getting moved out, we went to go talk to Ulf again, and what we found out is that the ultimatum that Ulf offered to this assassin was that she needed to kill the leader of the billhooks, and then he would work with her. So we realized that this guy's a strike target, and we started shuffling him, and in the process we exchanged some little notes and letters where she dropped off my uniform with a note that said, "I'm so sorry, but you wouldn't get out." I returned a note that basically, when we moved him, it's a little note pinned there that I'm 100% sure she'll get. That's basically no problem. I realized it wasn't personal. Neither is this. So that was kind of most of the job that I recall. There's a bunch of personal elements we can talk about. Maya, how about you? Do you remember anything else?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I have to add to that is just Maya's personal stuff with getting possessed by, I think it was her grandmother.
Oh yeah.
And having I think it was from a overindulged vice roll where she sort of like blacked out and woke up in Chowder Hall and sort of overheard some people saying, "Oh, it's so great now we know." Oh, what information did they get? It was like is it the passages into town or something like that, or
Yeah,
I
there's
forget
like
the specifics.
tunnels or something.
Yeah, I think it was like the tunnels into town or something.
No, they were checking in on spirit warden patterns of response.
That's right. Yes. So now we have some Shadowhole people who are also onto the Spirit Warden investigating that we've been doing. Thanks, Grandma. And I think that was ended. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how that goes with the.
Your grandmother's ghost is upset that there's an asterisk on your first investigation. She thinks that that's imperfect.
And I only strive for perfection.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Did you have anything else to add to that, Joe?
No, that all sounds lovely. So did we do, I think, was there an entanglement where Ulf got arrested? Am I imagining that?
I don't think that happened. I know that there may have been. I know there was an entanglement where Roland Starn got arrested for fighting some sailors.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
There was also a second entanglement from my overindulgence where I got surrounded by spirit wardens, so now I'm looking for a new apartment.
Yes. Right.
And also, I think this is actually important because it'll come up in play. Maya told Drav about her ghost issue, and Drav asked her if she, because like there's this like weird like, I don't know, you've had this ghost for like the majority of your life, do you want to get rid of it, like, or are you like one of those spirit echo people that like likes having ghosts around, and you were like, no, I want to get rid of it. So Drav had a talk with Hopper, who told him that this thing could be wild, he can get it out, but he like doesn't guarantee that it's gonna end well. And Drav asked him like what kind of supernatural muscle could handle something like that, and he told him the Dimmer sisters. So we may very likely see them this session. We'll see. So I got an advance last time. I got an advance last time, and I was thinking there was this like hilarious thing where I actually did some thought work. I wrote it down as new power, Drav Gots 1, pick either prowl or functioning vice, but I think I'm going to change that. What I'm going to take is a slide power, and it's called a little something on the side. And what it does is it gives me 2 stash at the end of every downtime. And the way that that's going to manifest is, if you recall, Drav was practicing his card game with angry grandmas. And I think that he's, it's just gonna be like some disconnected scenes that don't make a lot of sense yet, where Drav basically goes to like gambling houses and like sets his chips down and says, deal me in. And he's gonna be putting his winnings aside for the moment. So, he's gonna be doing the tarot poker circuit in Doskval.
I think I like my a tune when I gained an advance last time.
Are you on 5G or are you on? Okay.
Boop. All right. Cool. So I think we finished with downtimes last time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I recall. Yeah.
All right. So, Maya, we should probably have a conversation in character about what our next job should be. So do you want to just like have a chat at the office, or how do you want to do this?
Oh yeah, because like we had new office quarters too, right? Like we're in Rowan Tower, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Tower of Justice.
And it's not just like a board, like you have like an actual board that you can pin things to as a whole wall. And the other thing that's there, when you walk in, your administrative clerk, Ishmael Comber.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Judd?
I think we briefly lost a Judd. But that reminds me too that, is he back?
Nope.
It did remind me though that we oh crap, what was the name of that really useless advisor we used to have?
Clave Helker? That guy?
Not
or-
Clave, the guy before Clave.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. We met him in the. He became like the. Oh, Judd,
Oh,
you're
you're
moving again.
back.
Am I back?
Welcome
Am I
back.
back?
You started
Okay.
saying Ishmael Comber and then you just froze.
Yeah, your administrative clerk, Ishmael Cumber, is a young university student just out of Duskval University. And he like takes your jacket and your coat. He studied political science and like hangs it up and is very eager to like do whatever he can to help.
Not mine. Like
Cool.
the first time he reaches for it, I like step back and like my hands like start heading towards my weapons, and then like if he's just like I want to take your jacket, I'm just like, son, I work for a living, I can put my own coat up.
Yes, Mr. Ron. Of course, I did not mean to offend you in any way.
I think my like hell like yeah, her coat's quite heavy. She'll check it off for like being inside kind of thing, and you hear like all the clanking, jingling of like wads. But
Right.
you can see the look in her eye where she's a bit nervous to like take off a thing with so many protective wards, given her present state of being.
Right.
And do we have like sort of I forget? Do we have like an offices each, or is it kind of like an open desks like office situation?
I would imagine you have like a big room with both of your desks in it, but there's ample space. Like there's room to grow.
It's not a broom closet anymore.
It is not a broom closet. You're literally in Rowan Tower, that is now called the Justice Tower.
Right. So I totally feel like this conversation happens with like our desks facing each other across like stacks of paperwork that have yet to be filed from like previous
Right.
cases.
So I think like it's interesting, right? Because like season 1, episode 1, Drav had this like scruffy look where he looked like he was completely out of place, and he looked more like a scoundrel that somebody shoved into a blue coat than an actual blue coat. And now I think like he's actually got like a haircut and you know like looks like semi like season 3 or whatever, case 3, he looks like a lot more. I won't call him polished, but like maybe he doesn't like not take care of himself as badly as he used to. But anybody watching like carefully will notice that like episode 1, moment 1, he's like all polished and everything, but like at this point he's got like that 5 o'clock shadow running and is like maybe starting to get a little bit closer to disheveled again. But I think he looks at Maya, he's like staring at the wall where he's got like the cards and the stuff like put up, and then he like kind of gives her a glance like behind him and he says, how much do you know about assassins?
I think like Maya considers that question quite seriously and like looks at a spot on the wall and then like fixes her lavender eyes back on Drav and says, well, aside from our personal encounters, I suspect not much. It's not really a phenomenon one encounters out in the Deathlands. The Deathlands tend to do your assassination for you.
I think Drav looks back at the board and sort of like, but he's like clearly talking to Maya and he says like, you do encounter a number of them on the streets. Now, I can't say that I've dealt with them because the scale and the position that I was, working at is the gang scuffles tend to be more bloodied noses and a lot less murder. But, I mean, the grind is the grind, right? Like, the higher up you go, the more likely it is that this is an acceptable tool of, like, the grind, right? Like, the trade. It says, but here's the thing that bugs me. Assassins are not murderers. The difference between a murderer and an assassin is that a murderer is killing for themselves. They're killing for, like, whatever reason they have internally. An assassin may have a reason to kill, so, like, they might be part of some cult or, like, trained by the army or whatever. But they don't kill just to kill. They kill for someone else. They kill for money. They're like a weapon, right? Like, they're like a dagger held by someone, and like when that dagger may be deadly and it may be the thing that allows them to kill someone, but ultimately the hand that wields them determines who they're stabbing, right? And so looking at this assassin, we're reacting to her. We're chasing her, and we're looking at her actions as if they will reveal to us something. Now we know that she is looking to work with the Grinders and Ulf Ironborn. And we know that little Scov is a bit volatile. For whatever reason, the McClellans have pushed the police precinct to make the tensions between the people there even higher than they already were. Like, the Scovelanders are not comfortable there to begin with. And now we add this assassin to the mix, and there are two problems here. The first one is that we have the Lord Governor showing up with an ex-military woman, and what they're not telling us is find where the assassin is and stop the threat. What they're telling us is we would like to see her retrieved. Now, if you had a weapon of the scale of somebody that can kill kings and queens, you don't ask for it to be given to someone unless they're necessarily planning to do something with it. This girl is not going to be given a cottage out into Deathlands where we can pretend that she will exist without killing anybody for the rest of her existence. They want her for something, and I don't think that they're being upfront. They told us that they want her to find peace, but I don't think that someone who has been trained from birth and is now 30 plus years old and still doing assassinations is going to just give up the life because somebody offers them a chance to, like, have a normal existence and, like, buy flowers every Friday because they can afford it. So there's that half of the equation that I don't understand. I don't know what the governor and this Roland Starn actually want with the girl, and I feel like we don't have all the cards on that end. And then the other thing is that I don't know who has hired her, because I don't think that she's doing this on her own. Assassins aren't trained to devise plots and, like, webs of intrigue on their own and then try to enact plans. They're a tool, right? Like, they kill. And I don't know how to read that situation further. Like, let's say that she succeeds. She kills the head of the Bellhooks. Ulf Ironborn starts working with her. Ulf starts gaining power. Things get a little raw, right? Like, the Bluecoats are gonna bump with him. This might even lead to Scovelanders becoming unrestful. What's the win condition here? Like, let's say that all that happens, but then what? Like, what does that do? Why do you deploy somebody who is so far above the level of the street in order to stir that pot up? What do you think?
I think Maya, like, nods and, like, sort of takes all of this in, and says, I hadn't quite thought of it that way, but you're right. For if she were just a weapon without use, she would just get thrown away. But you're right. They're not asking for her to face judicial justice. We both know this court is a mockery of justice. I suspect, Drav, we are going to get into trouble again.
Seems to be our modus operandi.
For if we do pursue that thread of, like, what do the powers that be want to do with her, I suspect we will not like the answer. Need to remind you what happened with the ghoul case.
I think he's feeling you out here, right? Because he's not sure of his own answers on some of these. But what he says is, like, you told me that you're looking at a nest full of rats and you're trying to see what you can, bring to light, bring to justice. What do we see as our ultimate goal with this assassin? Because, as I said, I don't... The most dangerous thing on the street is thinking that you're stronger than everyone else, right? Like, I had, in some ways, an advantage. I got to see most of the people that I care about killed, which, among other things, made me understand, made me be cautious, made me know that I myself am not the hardest person available, that there are plenty of people that are stronger, tougher, faster, better than me. And here's the deal, like, I don't think I can take this person on. Like, I don't think I can take her down. I don't know that we know somebody that can. I have friends that are strong, maybe two of us might be able to put a dent in her, but I don't know that I can turn into a wall to stop her. So what do we do with a person that we can't contain because she can turn into anyone, blend into anything, and disappear, and we can't, bag her? Like I can't just, like, fight her and win. So like, what is our ultimate goal with her? Are we trying to capture her, or are like, what do you do with a weapon that's in the wild like that?
I think
Do we
Maya
build it in a
sighs
prison? Like,
and like leans back in her chair and puts her foot up on the desk, and it's like, this is also outside of my area of expertise. If we were back in my homelands, we exile people who cannot be contained within our system, and then they're no problem. And if they fare well in the Deathlands, then good for them, and if they do not, then they perish. But I've not ever had to contemplate the idea of containing someone in that capacity when they cannot be contained.
Oh, that's interesting. I never considered the Deathlands. We do know that she doesn't have any supernatural training, or at least not much. So that might hilariously that may actually work. Okay.
But you were right. There are two parts to this puzzle. There is the person killing, and the fact that they will probably keep on killing if they can find the right patron, and the person patronizing them.
I'm actually, you know, this is a really weird thing to say, but I'm seeing Drav, like, I'm stepping out of character for a split second, but, like, Drav has been on the streets long enough that he understands the reality of things, which is to say that assassins exist in Duskfall, and not all of them go behind bars. Some of them keep doing their shtick for a while because different gangs hire them, you know, like, the Lampblacks are gonna hire them against the Sashes, and the Sashes need revenge, so they hire them against the Lampblacks, and, like, you know, that's their calling, right? So I think he's, like, less somehow alarmed by the concept that this person is gonna kill anyone. But, okay. Yeah, alright. So...
And could you be an ally? Is that a possibility?
Right. Well, alright. So I think that that's actually the point where Drav says something, and most people, Drav has just continued the conversation, but to you get the sense that he gets, like, really quiet because he's not... He's basically, like, testing the waters. He's putting out, like, an absurdly wild idea, and he wants to see if you're gonna bite, right? And I think he just casually says, like, maybe we do talk to her.
And I think, like, Maya, like, sort of sits back up in her chair and, like, sort of leans on the desk and gets closer to Drav and says, like, no, I agree. It's better to have the gun in one's hands than pointed at oneself.
Okay. I thought I was going to have to convince you because she could probably kill both of us anytime she looks at us funny.
It's okay, I'm reckless.
Okay, but I also came to the conclusion that if she wanted to kill us, she would have. Because this person walked into Rowan Tower. Now, I know that not everyone is Heartless Tui, but there are a lot of good investigators here, and this person walked in undetected, dropped my shit off, and walked out. If she wanted to kill us, she could have killed us in this office, and nobody would have been the wiser and left just as cloaked. So, like, I don't think there's a, like, being scared of her is this pointless act, right? Like, because if we are, if whether we are scared or not, if she chooses to kill us, we're dead. And if she chooses not to kill us, which she seems to be doing right now, like, she's not actually a threat. So I don't 100% know how to deal with her, but I think that we can guess at who has hired her, or we can try and ask her. I can't force her to say anything, but I think that we might be able to, like, make her curious enough to play this game with us. I don't know. She may not even know the answer. She may just wake up every morning with, like, a letter and 10,000, you know, imperial ducats or whatever the hell the currency is. So.
I believe there is some idiom about cats and mice, or cats and rats.
I turned it off.
She is indeed a cat amongst the rodents in the city.
All right, cool. So let's talk about our job. So there are a couple of notes that I still have in from uh-oh. Hang on, I did a thing. There we go. I still have a couple of notes from last time, one of which was there is a cat house we can visit that I don't think is going to provide a substantive lead. We could go talk to the Grinders, which I think is an interesting puzzle. And there is a third option, which I have concocted between games that I wanted to pitch to you, which is a prison barge is one thing, but if we can find a Leviathan boat heading out, we might be able to offload, what's his face, the Iron Hook leader. Now, the reason that this is interesting to me is because Leviathan boats can be out sometimes for months, which means that we don't have to move him every 2 weeks. But more importantly, we know when the boat is coming back into port, which means that we know where the assassin has to be if she wants to ace this guy. So it is one of the only ways that we can narrow her position, because, like, she could be anywhere. Like, she could be anywhere in the city and we have no freaking leads. So, like, there is I don't have a good investigative angle to try and catch her any other way other than to either send the thing that she needs to kill away and then be present when the thing comes back, or we could, and in the meantime, she may very well be like, well, I guess I can't kill him, I gotta go talk to the grinders, and we can see if we can bargain with the grinders to be present when they have the meeting with her, because those are the only two ways that I know how to pin her down to a location anytime in the future.
The other thing that you learned about her past that we didn't talk about in the recap, and it's been a while since we played, so I just want to talk about it, is that when she was in the Owl Orphanage, she was there with Rorik, who used to be a leader of the Crows, who is now dead. And it's common street knowledge, deadish, and it's common street knowledge that his second in command is the one who did it. So, like, throwing that's another.
There's also more than a few rumors that Rorik is a ghost currently.
Right. Right.
Too many leads.
No, actually, that's not that many, if you think about it, right? Like, we've got the McClellans pushing the cops to stir up poop in Little Skov. That's a thing. We have the ghost of Rorik potentially being tied to her, being an ally, being somebody that's shielding her, being somebody that's using her. Or we could play, the shell game with the Billhook leader, put him on a boat, because there's no way to escape on a giant Leviathan hunter. I mean, like, even if he escaped out of his cage, there is, like, 100 miles of black ocean with stars and Leviathans between him and shore. He's not gonna go anywhere. So,
I guess the only risk is that what if we send him out with her on the ship?
If that's the case, then we're going to have several months in town without her killing people. And I don't think that she's going to just murder everyone on the boat. So, in that case, we have failed. But I think that you and I are clever enough that we can probably find a Leviathan hunter captain personally. And sort of avoid rumors and nonsense and just sort of, like, try and move him last minute with, like, a secure escort and whatnot. And hell, if she makes a jump at him then that saves us a hell of a lot of time.
Very true. I think I did. That plan, I think, sounds the most like mitigating potential risk whilst also, like, increasing our odds of finding her for sure without just trying to chase her around the city.
All right, so that's the good news. That sounds fun. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe we do that. So we're going to play a little game, and the game is like this. I have no access to Leviathan hunter captains who have a hell of a lot of money, power, and high social standing. So I can't convince one to take a known murderer and put him in a boat brig for 6 months, and I do not have the money to bribe one to do that. So I think that's Maya's job. And,
oh my gosh.
while you are having fun setting that up, I'm going to go to Ironhook and convince the High Lady of Ironhook. I forget her name off the top of my head.
Moreland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to convince Moreland that she's going to play this game with us, and she owes me that much for half drowning me on her watch.
Rad. I wish we had Coil here so much right now.
No doubt.
All right, we good?
Cool.
I think so, yeah.
All right. So maybe that's the job, Judd. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Sounds good. How do you want to get in a room with a Leviathan captain? What do you want to? How do you want to? What do you want to leverage to do that?
Good question. Because I forget if we spoke with one the last time we commandeered a Leviathan ship.
That's true. We interact. Although, did they say that the captain wasn't on board because the captain was possessed, if I recall?
Oh, yeah, but there was that second in command that we did pardon. Like we gave her a whatchamacallit, a
Imperial pardon.
imperial pardon. So like I feel like if we want to leverage someone, that's probably the person who's going to maybe owe us one for
Yeah. Yeah, her name is Talitha. I remember her.
That's right. Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah, that ship is in port if you want to go talk to her.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
And is this like just to what is this still like free play? Are we gonna sort of like to like suss out the situation and then do a score, or like what? How do
we haven't rolled an engagement? We're not on a score yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think we're in free play. I think we're going to establish how this will work, and then it'll be about smuggling. I think the job will actually be about smuggling. Like the dice will be about smuggling Carvel off of the boat onto the. Like it'll be getting him out. Like
Excellent.
That'll be the thing.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Judd. Did you say smuggling?
I did. I did.
I happen to know smugglers.
I bet.
Used to be one. All right, cool.
Rad. Yeah, I'll pony on up to the docks and.
Yeah. You come up to the boat, the Strange Aeons, and Captain Talitha welcomes you aboard.
Oh, she's a captain now.
I was gonna say, does she have like the captain regalia on? Like.
Yep.
I will definitely compliment her and say that it looks a lot. It looks very good on her. It suits her very well.
Thank you, Inspector. So, if rumors that I'm hearing are right, most of our Marines are dead, and our captain is dead because an ancient ghost wizard took control of them.
Yes. That is rather accurate. Talitha.
She leans against the rail and kind of like rubs her head, and says, "That's a lot to take in. I've got to really sit in front of my crew and tell them that before we leave port." Anyway, what brings you aboard? Is there a ghost left on here? What's going on?
Not exactly. My colleague and I are engaging upon a new case, details of which I suppose I could share, given your amenability to helping us out. But we wish to charter a Leviathan vessel to give safe passage return. That's all, really.
So you and your partner want to take a trip on a Leviathan ship? Are you sure? You know what we do?
Indeed, and it will not be me personally, for I am shy around deep water, but it's more a charge that we have been asked, that we are seeking to take care of. We want to put them upon the ship, have them leave town for a month or two, and then return while we
Oh my God! You want to put someone who's got too much heat onto our ship so that before shit cools down?
In a way, yes. I will not beat around the bush, Talitha.
You want to tell me the name of this upstanding citizen?
Uh, it's the leader of the Billhooks. No big deal.
The
I'm sure they're.
Billhooks? Come on, they're psychopaths.
Indeed. They are not exactly folks you would like to invite around for tea on a Saturday afternoon.
No, and they're not exactly people you want to give passage. I have to think of the larger mission, so my answer has got to be no.
Well, if not yourself, is there someone else who might be amenable to giving us assistance?
Actually, Lauren, can you ask her if they'd be willing to keep him in the brig for the trip?
Oh yeah, the brig will do, of course, Talother. You do not need to provide him 5-star accommodation.
No, I understand that. What I don't understand. Here's what's going to happen. This is how these things shake out. I have to keep this ship seaworthy. In order to do that, I need the best Leviathan ship sailors, not like normal sailors, the best Leviathan ship sailors I can find. I'm already going to be going out to sea with totally green Marines because all of my Marines were possessed and shot in the face by your friends. But okay, now I've got to go out onto the sea with the leader of a group of psychopaths in my hold. And when I come back, the Billhooks probably aren't going to throw themselves at the ship, but they might. What they're probably more likely going to do is they're going to find one of my crew out on leave alone and butcher him to death. Now, maybe that person is a useless sailor who I wanted to fire anyway, but maybe it's my navigator. Maybe it's my first mate. Maybe it's the head of my Marines. This is what I'm dealing with. I'm not going out Leviathan ship hunting for glory. I'm doing it so I can bring back Leviathan's blood that keeps those fences running. And she like points to the lightning barriers. I don't want to be self-important, but without me, this town is a ghost-haunted nightmare.
I think like Maya shudders when you mention ghost haunted nightmare.
And based on what I just saw the last couple of weeks with you folks, I think it might already be a ghost haunted nightmare. So explain to me how I'm supposed to take this asshole in my brig.
I have an assist here.
Yes, what is your assist?
I mean, you can picture, you can say, like, all of this is only a problem if the Billhooks ever find out that he's in your brig. We're planning to, like, bring him under the cover of night with, like, a hood over his freaking head, shove him in the brig, and then they won't even find out that he's on your boat until people get off and talk. And at that point, we will pick him up literally off the docks and he will not be your problem anymore. Just, like, give her that pitch and then put the screws in. Just be like, look, you owe us. We saved you from, like, imperial execution, you know, and run with that. And I will toss you an assist if you need to make rolls.
Rad, you read my mind. Yeah, so I think, like, well, yeah, I'll give it that assurance that, like, it's in everyone's best interest that, like, no one know about this. It's very, like, under the radar. He wouldn't know where he is, per se. And, yeah, you're really helping us out after, like, we helped you out.
Cool. I think it is risky limited.
And is this like, this feels like an exploit only because, like,
yeah,
I'm sort of relying upon the goodwill we gave her to, like, help us out in this situation.
Yeah, I can see that. And I should have given you the effect and the position after you'd already said that, so I apologize for the
no problem.
time.
Maya, you may want to push for effect to make that risky standard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will give you the I don't know. You do need the dice. It's up to you.
Okay, I got one Pippin exploit.
Yeah. I've got assist for you, so you'll be rolling 2, but as we saw, the dice were not our friends last time.
No, hopefully it'll swing around. But if you can check and assist, that might be handy. This feels kind of pertinent to our plan.
Yeah.
So I'll do risky. I'll push the effect from limited to standard, and I'll add a bonus dice for the assist.
Hey!
Oh yeah, that assist was needed.
Bringing it home. You may want to mark. You may want to mark the push for the. I don't know if you already did.
Cool. You're cashing that in, huh? All right. He stays in a hood for the whole time we're out.
That's perfectly fine as long as he arrives alive. We can deal with the fallout when he gets here. When you return.
Sounds good. I just wanted to make a roll to see how the voyage went. If it was like 2 6s or 2 1s, then something really mad might have happened, but it looks like it's fine. So we're good.
All right. Does Moreland agree to the transfer?
She says, if you can find a Leviathan ship captain who's stupid enough to do it, then absolutely. But no one is going to be stupid enough to do it.
Okay. No, Drive is absolutely like, yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, and I think she like gives you the paperwork, and it's like, all you need is a Leviathan ship captain signature right there.
Okay. What is the minimum amount of time you need to actually do the transfer? Can you do it inside of, say, like 2 hours if I bring the paperwork?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to wait 2 hours before, or maybe 2.5 hours before the ship leaves port.
Okay.
before bringing the paperwork back.
Yeah.
Just so that Moreland, so we know that Moreland was dealing with the like old conspiracy and she was friends with McClellan and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I do not want this information, like which ship is it, when is the ship leaving, how can we organize this, like etc., to come out with any modicum of capacity to react. Like I want to like hand the paperwork in and then go and transfer the guy like ASAP.
Cool.
All right. Shall we do the job?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's make an engagement roll.
Oh, that's probably me. Just tell me how many dice, Judd.
Let me read it. Sorry.
No,
It's on the mandate, right?
Is it risky?
No, engagement roll would be in the book. You need to be in.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got that page.
Let me get the.
Yep. For some reason, I thought it was just different. Okay. Is it particularly bold or daring? Yes. Does the plans detail explosive vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I'm going to say yes. Friends or contacts. Is friends or contact like an in-game, like a mechanical thing, or is that just like okay?
That's
then
why
no.
I had to turn Maya into a friend on my sheet in order to get the plus 1D when I'm vicing.
Got it. Yeah, I think you've got 3D or 4D.
Wow. All right. This is a wildly good die pool. Watch me roll this. This is gonna be amazing.
I'm scared. It'll be fine.
Hey, who's right? That's a big whiff.
Cool.
She finds us in the middle of the transfer.
Oh, it's so gonna happen. We end up in a desperate situation. Yeah.
Oh my god, we might die.
I don't think so. It's just gonna be some desperate rolls. It's fine. We'll get.
Yeah. I guess I should be more worried about him
thing. Our charge might die. I'm not sure that we will die. We'll see.
Awesome.
So, Judd.
So you are in this police barge, and what the captain of the police barge will tell you the whole time, and his name is.
Do I need to write it down? Because I have a feeling he might be dead in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, is it worth it? His name is Captain Junker.
Okay, good to know.
All he talks about is how the watch commander has been trying to get them better gear and military surplus, and the Lord Governor is standing in their way, and like he rants and raves about it, and then you hear the engine stop working, and the ship kind of is drifting, and you see it kind of drift towards the canal, and you can see from the side of the canal where it's drifting towards bill hooks, literally with bill hooks pulling the ship towards the thing and starting to
Oh, this is a boarding action.
starting to board.
What's the plan
Bluecoats start to like mobilize, but there's not a whole lot of them, and it looks like all of the bill hooks are on this thing.
Oh.
Oh boy. Wow, I have the stupidest plan in the world.
What is your stupid plan? Let's do it.
I don't think we fight them. I think we run downstairs to the hold, we take his fucking hood off, and we explain the situation to him.
Oh, interesting.
Because if he tells them to stop, they will stop. Otherwise, this is going to be a meat grinder.
Totally. And then everything's kind of like moot because he's gonna be like, "You killed all my people," like, you know.
I mean, we can fight them, but that's gonna be ugly. The bill hooks are not a good fight. We could even probably win. I don't know that we're gonna come out without level 3 harm again. But I think that the fastest way to save lives is to convince him that he needs to tell them to stop.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have.
Cool.
Do we just tell the captain to do everything in his power to like just try and delay them?
Okay.
Like drop anchor in the middle of the canal. Like do what you can to stall for a hot second. We're gonna try and okay. Let's do it. What does that look like, Judd? Do we just like see panicked looks and like go dashing down below decks to the brig?
Yeah. You go downstairs and Carville is there, and there are a couple guards on the door, and they let you in, and he's chained to a chair that's welded to the floor with a hood on his face.
I think I just walk past the guards as if I'm assuming that they're not going to interfere, and I'm gonna I'm pull the hood off his face.
Okay.
Maya, are you there with me?
Yeah, I feel like I'll kind of like have your back, you know, like in case shit goes down. Yeah.
So I think I look him in the eye and I say, like I just look right at him and I say, Carville, you know that I don't bullshit with you, and so and what I say is like, the billhooks are pulling this boat over, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of dead people on both sides. And the person that flooded the chamber is after you. They may get you today, and they may get you away from us, but I guarantee you that you're going to be dead within the next week. The only way that you live is if you trust me, and you do something that sounds incredibly stupid, which is get on a Leviathan Hunter ship, and stay the fuck away from Duskwall for the next month, and I will try and bag this woman before she kills you. So your choices are a couple of days of freedom and death, or you could live and try and escape again sometime in the future.
Yeah, cool. You hear a bomb go off on the surface, on the main air, you know, the top deck. Jeez, I couldn't think of the word deck at all. And Carville smiles and is not convinced, but you know, so it's going to be desperate standard.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to relate to him.
It sounds like a relate, yeah.
I gotcha.
I'm gonna push myself because why not? Do you have any assists, Inspector?
I was gonna say, yeah, like, oh yeah, I feel like the assist is like, you know, me and the bill leader do not know each other from chalk and cheese, but
No, you do. You spoke to him, remember?
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah,
he said terrible things about your mother and then apologized.
That's true. Yeah, I think I'll lean on that again. I'll be like, you know, there are people that exist beyond the situation. You have a family that I know you care about. You have people that rely upon you. I think you and I know that it'd be better if you stuck around for longer than a few days.
All right, let me throw some dice and see how it goes.
Okay.
Are you spending a stress?
Yes, I will spend a stress.
Cool. Let's do this. Yes! That, yeah! That's that last die! Squeak! Oh, shit, desperate. I get an XP. Yeah.
Cool. So, I
think I just want to amend one thing. I think especially after what Maya says, I tell him, like, I amend what I said previously in the sense that what I say is, if she comes after you, she's not just going to kill you, she is probably going to kill a lot of the billhooks on the way to you. If you don't believe me, you know that a bunch of your people died when she faced them. Don't think that the rest of them are going to be able to stop her any better now.
So, you hear someone come down a ladder that you came down when you came down from the top deck, and a young man looking sullen and unhealthy, with blood up to his triceps, and a meat cleaver in each hand, comes down the hallway, and you hear the guards kind of gird themselves.
No, I tell the guards to back the fuck away. There's no point in them dying. The two of them are not going to stop all the billhooks.
Yeah.
They may not listen to me, but yeah.
Yeah.
You try.
And Tarvel smiles when he sees the kid, and he says, "Did you get in any trouble on the way here, boy?" And he says, "No, da."
You did mention he had blood up to his triceps.
I did, yeah. It was fine. We can get you out of here. We can walk out. They're almost all dead. He says, "I've got another plan, and I'm going to execute it. I need you to hold down the billhooks for a few months. I'm going to be out of Duskfall for a bit." Dad, well, why? You don't have to run from anybody. I'm not running. I'm investing. Dad, I'm in love. I want you to meet her.
Oh my god.
And he says, "I'll meet her when I get back. I'll meet her when I get back." And he says, "Okay. I'll call the boys off." What'll I tell Erin? Tell her this was my decision. They're not threatening you, are they? This isn't a hostage thing where they making you say it? No, boy. Is there anyone who can threaten your father into doing anything he doesn't want to do? He says, "No. I'll see you in a few months." He says, "I'll see you in a few months." And the kid puts the cleavers on these hooks he has on his belt and climbs back up the ladder, leaving a blood trail on his way up. I think Tarville gets like misty eyed. It's the first time he's seen his son in probably over a year. He says, "All right, let's go to your damned ship." So you think didn't matter. You think she tipped them off so that I would get out? she didn't want to come here on her own? But he wouldn't say she. He would say the assassin. He doesn't know, right?
Yeah, I think I look at him, and what I say is, I actually do say, like, she's killed kings and queens. Believe me when I tell you, this is not your usual gang warfare. This isn't some up-jump thug that was hired on the street. It's an entirely different animal.
All right.
I asked the guards to undo his chains, and I mean, if the gang is going to depart and the guards, I don't know how many guards are left. I don't know that
Right.
we're going to be running a block. I take a look at Maya and I say, maybe we just go with disguises and fast but quiet movement through the streets. He's clearly cooperating. He could have gotten out 2 minutes ago. There's no point in, like, trying to do the whole, like, heavy guard routine other than to appease the captain. I do not care about right now. And you like, what I'm going to tell you is, if she wanted him to be rescued, she's probably watching. Your job is to spot her.
Mm.
And I'm going to try very hard not to feel horrible about just getting a whole bunch of people killed.
Okay.
I know Strash knows in the back of my mind that this girl would have probably activated the bill hooks and this boat would have gotten attacked from a different boat if it wasn't near a canal. But Drav has different hangups because his gang got killed and he just got a bunch of, like, Iron Hook people killed. He didn't really get them killed. Like, it's not his plan that literally opened them to this kind of assault. Like, they would have gotten assaulted anyway, but he remembers the Grinning Ravens. That kind of haunts him, so I think I'm probably not feeling super great right now, and I'm relying on my, like, gotta act like a scoundrel, gotta finish the job kind of mentality. So
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, let's. I think you're walking on the deck and you see Ogre as one of the dead.
Oh no!
Does Maya catch it first and try and avert, like, Drav?
I think you both see it at the same time.
Oh no! I think Maya puts her hand on Drav.
No. I think there's just, like, a moment where Strash goes, like, resistance roll. Like, I am not dealing with this, Judd. I will trauma for this man and his kids.
Oh my gosh.
I think I just saw this coming.
I love this game.
And I was like, no, Morty Moreland. Make sure that Ogre's not on the detail, you know, like.
Cool.
He's too precious.
Oh, I'm a trauma for this man. This is so
Oh my
bad.
gosh.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got 2 dice and 2 stress, so I need a 4 or better.
All right.
Here we go. Nope, a trauma.
Oh no!
That's my 3rd trauma. I'm almost done.
Oh.
Okay. I will figure out what my trauma is in a hot
Okay.
second. I don't know what my condition is, but I'll get an XP from this job. Hey. Okay.
Hitting that 3rd trauma, I'm immediately like, I'm so scared for Trump.
That's fine. The thing is that ultimately this game is, like, how long can you stay in the game until you trauma out, right? And the thing is that Blades is a lot better because you have 4 skills, you have, like, a whole shit ton of powers that give you, like, extra resist. There's, like, tons of stuff you can do. And so, like, the more powerful you get, like, the more dots you get and things like that. Like, the faster and easier it is to, like, compensate for shit like this. But Bluecoats kind of leaves you hanging. And it means that you're going to burn out on the job a lot faster. There's no way to save that. So, yeah, I'm 1 bad resistance roll away from this character being packed away. That's cool. I'll make another Bluecoat. It's fine. But that's the game, right?
I hope we get our, like, Reichenbach full, you know, like. It's gonna be a very sad episode because I've only got one drama. I still have free to go.
There's a lot of so secretly, just talking from a mechanical perspective, there's like, I think that it's a cool story, right? Like when somebody hangs up their hat in their coat, right? Like that's a good tale. That's the end of The Wire, when McNulty looks at a city knowing that he's done with the life, and he remembers everything that happened, and he loves Baltimore, and then he's out. And so like there's a poignancy to that. There's a like, that's an important moment, and I think that that's cool. But Blades just says like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I can just be like, so Judd, what kind of long-term project gives me an extra trauma? And like, we can talk about like mechanically like circumventing stuff if we care. But I like living on the edge, so let's play the game, right?
Totally.
All right,
Awesome.
cool.
Here for it.
Awesome.
But
Cool.
Ogre's okay, which is the important thing.
Yes, Ogre and his kids are fine. But there are a lot of other dead
Yeah.
people.
Matter of fact, I think it's just like, yeah, you turn over a body, you think it's Ogre, and it's not him. It's just like, more than listen to me. Good.
Gonna move on.
Cool.
All right, so I have a plan. I don't know if like maybe this is what we do. Like, honestly, I would suggest at this point, with like this many bleeding people and things going south, instead of, we either go straight to the docks, or like we try and pull up somewhere with like a sewer access or something where we can like hide under the shadows of things for like a hot minute. See if we can get our Iron Hook guy something other than an Iron Hook jumpsuit, so that he's not walking around town with a hood on his face and like whatever the appropriate clothing is. And then we can just like put him in a disguise and just like literally walk him to the boat. That's the plan.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's really. I like that idea a lot. My other idea was like just put him on a horse and like race him like down to the dock. But I think sneaking might be cooler.
What do you think is more fun? Do you want to do like a horse chase scene through town, or do you want to do like we're on foot, a little panicked and in disguises, trying to get there with this guy still alive?
Oh, I feel like we got a taste of like the chase scene on the Leviathan ships and stuff like last time, so it might be cool to do like a sneaky thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Jed, that's the plan.
Cool. Sounds good. I think there are clothes in the Iron Hook guards' lockers, the guys who worked here, so you can find something that kind of fits. And what are you rolling to make that happen?
Is that an obstacle?
Is it?
You
I guess
only roll
not.
when either like there is somebody resisting or something.
Yeah.
There's like some inherent threat, like finding clothes.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying finding him clothes. I'm saying getting him there.
Oh, jeez.
What is the role?
Secure?
Is the role more Maya locating the sniper?
That's the one I'm expecting.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think you get him. You get him out, and you're walking him through the streets, and it's Maya keeping her eye on the horizon and on the building, on the top building line, to see what's going on.
Right. This is like an observe role for.
Yeah.
Ooh, dear. And it's just me because like your job is out, right? Like that's
No, I'm out for a scene, and so fortunately there was this like weird dichotomy where like my trauma happened between two scenes. So we can say that I'm back. If you want, we can roleplay like Drav is probably actually like he sees a body, he flips it over. It's not Ogre, but like he's still shaken to shit and back. Like I was already saying, like he was trying to like keep that like stone face and just do the job. And I think that when he sees a body that he thinks is Ogre, even if it's not, maybe that like breaks through his facade and his like I'm a stone cold badass. And I think that you probably like I start hyperventilating. I don't quite have a panic attack. Well, maybe I do. And like I go to like the back of the boat, away from all the like blood and all the stink and the flies and everything. And I just like like hunker down with like, you know, like just like crouch down on my heels and like have a cigarette, and I just do not talk for like 5 minutes. But like, you know, maybe that's the scene. Like it takes me a second to collect myself. I don't know if you want to say anything or do anything, but yeah.
I feel like it's sort of in keeping with Maya and Drop to be like, you do you, you've got this. Like I trust you. Like I'll find some clothes. You take your time, and then we'll book it from here, kind of thing. So we probably get that shot of like Maya looking over her shoulder with like her lavender eyes at Drop. It's like Drop's like in the corner,
Yeah.
And then sort of like turns back to the billhook leader and sort of like is not pushing him around, but sort of being a bit directive to be like, get this, put this on, like we're gonna move. And cool. So I have 2 and observe. I could push myself for an extra dice. That would leave me with 2 stress left.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's desperate limited.
Ooh. Okay.
I was gonna say, let's spot an assassin whose master power is blending in somewhere in a crowd. Yeah.
Totally.
Desperate limited sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I got a 5.
Well, that means that you do it, right? But there's a consequence.
Yeah.
Do it as a consequence. You suffer severe harm. Serious complication occurs. Cool. So I think you see her and like pull him, like you see her on top of a building, covered up by blankets and just stuff that just kills her outline. And she doesn't get the like kill shot, but she shoots him. And like he's alive, but he's staggering and he's bleeding.
So is this the moment where like we hear the shot ring out, right? Like
Yeah.
I see crimson on him. I shove him into like a doorway or an alleyway and like close the line of sight and just like check his wound, and he's not dead but bleeding. Yep.
I think the only reason why you knew to push him is because Maya like was like, you know, third angel gargoyle, there it is, and like hiding behind a weeping lady was Levine with a sniper rifle, and like you push him out of the way, and like the shot goes off, and like, you know, it doesn't hit his head, it hits him in the body. And like I think Tarville screams, "Do you think that's all it's gonna take to get me?"
Where is he shot and how bad is it?
That's a great question. Let's see. It's not bad. It is. Yeah. I think it went through pretty clean. He's bleeding. Like it hit the bleeding is troubling, but if you get him to a doctor, he's not going to die.
Can I tie him up?
Sure. How do you do that?
Like first aid. There's no skill for first aid. That's why I'm asking.
Right.
It's like this game does not expect that to be a thing.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Make a fortune roll.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
Like,
So let me think. I don't have antiseptics. I probably didn't. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a. Okay, so let's talk about gear.
Maybe just savvy, like a savvy fortune roll.
Yeah, that sounds fine. But a fortune roll, the dice go up or down based on how like whether you have a dominant position or not, right? Like fiction influences your die pool. So a savvy fortune roll as like a base sounds perfectly great. But I'm going to say flashback. I was prepared for this, right? Like, I would have brought medical supplies, because we haven't marked any of our gear yet. So, I don't mean load, I just mean, like, I haven't put anything else in my load. Now, medical supplies are not a standard loadout thing, but I feel like that is a thing that Drav would have had either on hand or brought from, like, the first aid kit on the boat or whatever, because I am expecting fights, so...
Yep.
I get plus
Sounds good.
D for my fortune roll.
You do have a practical item in your inventory.
Yeah.
It is
That sounds great.
all right, bonus dice 1. Let's see. Hey!
Nice.
Now you don't trauma me, you terrible dice. All right, so
Cool.
no, that sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna treat him for the moment. Make sure that he's not like gonna be leaving a blood trail as we go.
Yeah.
What's closer, the Leviathan ship or a doctor?
Leviathan ship.
All right, cool. That's where we're going.
Cool.
They'll have someone on board. You can't have a boat that fights Leviathans without having a Sawbones.
They've got good doctors.
So what's the... I mean, Drav is clever. Drav knows the streets. Can I map out a route that's not going to leave us with, like, good avenues of fire?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what we're doing. We're making a mad dash.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Maya, while you're wrapping up the guy, like Maya is like at like with the window with some binoculars, like eye on the assassin, who I imagine, like, of course, like sort of slips behind a gargoyle and cannot be seen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I outlined the plan to Maya. I think we just book it. We book it for the boat.
Totally.
We force her to face us when she doesn't have, like, a dominant perch.
Should have brought the horse.
Yeah, should have brought the horse. All right, so what do you want us to roll, Judd? Or do you want us to roll? Do you just want to say, like, and this is the situation you end up in?
So for sure, like sneaking around alleyways and stuff and back routes and.
Is there something you could use to do this as a roll? No?
Maybe.
I mean, it could be like a secure or like. I think.
Secure.
Yeah.
Secure is probably the one that I would be expecting.
Yeah. That makes sense.
All right.
I think we're at risky. I think we're at risky standard.
And the consequence will be that we end up in a desperate situation. Is that the?
Oh yeah. The risky. Yeah. I think the consequence will be that like, I think right now she's like, oh, bugger, and she like leaves the nest and is climbing down, and like, does she get to you before you get to the ship?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So you're saying risky standard, huh?
Risky standard.
Maya, do you have an assist here?
Oh.
I got 1 die in secure. If you have more dice in secure, tell me.
I only have 1 dice, so yeah, I can fully give you. I can fully give you an assist. I feel like perhaps like so maybe we can split up, or like, can I sort of be some kind of like sort of lingering distraction while you push forward with
She's too smart to not follow the bleeding man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can screen for us, so you can like move ahead and look ahead. But I don't know that you can lead her on a merry chase.
Maybe that's it then. Maybe I'm scouting ahead with, but yeah, ghost eyes.
So you can climb up there and try and fight her, but that's not a good. Don't do that. That's a terrible plan. Don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like I have 2 dots in pursue, which kind of leads me to believe that I'm someone who could do the whole like jumping across roofs kind of thing.
I have
or, like,
no doubt that you could theoretically catch up to her. You have tons of observe. You can find out where she went. You've got enough pursue that you could probably do it. But let's say that theoretically you corner her. Then what? She can just leave. So through you if necessary, but
yeah.
Like, please don't get killed on account of this man. He's not worth it. I would rather have a Maya.
Yeah, so like, can I do the cool like sort of rooftop thing? Just like
Actually,
sort of keeping
maybe that's
out?
the thing. Like, do you suggest that you want to do that?
Yeah, I think like, I am reckless. I can totally like clamber up onto the roof and try to get a good advantage to keep an eye on her while you push
Yeah,
through with
I think what
Orville.
like when you're like, I'm gonna go up to the roof, Drav's like, no, like don't, like, well, initially, right? Like, so I say like no, like I just look at you and I'm like, look, there are too many bodies today. Sacrificing yourself to like prevent another like turning yourself into a body to stop another person from being turned into a body is not an erstwhile trade. Like, maybe we all go together and we all stay out of trouble together and nobody ends up dying, but like, don't get killed to try and stop another death. Like, it's the boat was bathed in blood.
I think Maya like smiles at Drav and says like, I appreciate the sentiment. It is very sweet. But I am the person that got stabbed in the chest and lived to tell the tale in Rowan House, taking down one of the city's biggest criminals. I think I can handle it, Roof. I think that's her pitch.
Okay, so
Cool.
yeah, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna take this
Cool,
guy.
cool.
I'm just gonna be grumpy.
Awesome. Make some rolls.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I don't think
I'll give you the dice for the assist, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh!
Red.
Bam.
I feel like I could have been talked out of it, but I'm just
No,
really
I don't think I have the time or the emotional wherewithal, right? Like, I think Drav thinks it's a terrible idea, but when you're on the battlefield, you don't, like, pull the lever and stop the fight. Like, there's no way to do that. He's like, we can talk about this later.
Yep.
Just
So,
kill.
Yeah, I think Drav knows back routes and like gets him underground and like through sewer tunnels that like just
Smuggler
other people
routes.
wouldn't have known. Yeah. And I think you drop him off with Captain Talitha Jayan, and she says, "I think he's broken."
I think Drav is giving her this, like, lady, you have no idea what kind of day I had. I am not even going to rise to any sort of bait. Like,
All right, Bluecoat, take it easy. Cool. Meanwhile, on the roof somewhere.
I regret everything.
You're giving chase?
Yeah, I think my initial intent was like to sort of get a high vantage point to at least be able to like sort of call out like
Yeah.
maybe it's a case of like, oh crap, I can actually find her. Like that could be a change of plan in the heat of the moment. That's quite cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll give some chase.
Sounds good. Cool thing is you know who she's following. You know what's going on. So I think we're at Risky Standard.
Brad, I feel like this is a pursue action.
That makes sense. And again, I assumed that, but I should have.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I feel like we're at this point where we're so in sync with what we're doing and what kinds of actions there are.
No, but
Like a given.
I've been doing that since day one. So, and I still do it a lot. And I'll,
Okay, I got a 4.
All right.
I really am living risky because I only have one stress left, so I can't push myself any further without trauming.
oh good, this is a wonderful situation to go and confront a master assassin.
Oh lord.
To be real though, I have started entire jobs at 7 out of 8 stress, so hey.
So you're following her. Wait a minute, we're at 4, right? Let me just see what 4.
I feel like it's one of those typical cool rooftop chase scenes where we're like running over wires and that kind of thing and jumping off roofs and scrabbling at roofs and
I think it's a desperate situation that Drav warned you of. You corner her. You put her into an alley, and she is realizing that that she's lost her charge, and she turns and she's got a loaded pistol in her hand.
Judd, can we just get a shot of her because like this is the first time we're actually seeing her up close. Till now, she's
Oh,
been
nice.
a
Oh,
Yeah.
ghost
yeah, you're
and a
right,
sequence of
yeah.
notes. I have no idea what she looks like today. Right, like the only
Yeah.
image of her we have,
Yeah.
she's like 5. So
Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think she's got hair pulled back in a ponytail, and she's wearing an army surplus jacket that a lot of the kids wear today, because after the Unity War, there were just like a lot of people who had big brothers and big sisters and aunts and uncles who came back, and mothers and fathers who came back, and so like there are a lot of kids wearing these kind of army surplus infantryman jackets, and so she's wearing one and like a cap just to keep the hair out of her eyes, and her hair is tied back. And when she turns, she's she's pretty. She looks a little younger than she probably is, and her eyes are definitely have that just like there's something not there, you know. She looks intense, but there's something behind her that just says she'll kill anyone in her way. You could see it.
just so for my own elucidation, her eyes are some normal color, like blue or brown. Is that correct?
They're brown. They're brown.
Excellent.
They're not ghostly blue or anything.
Just checking.
Nothing ghostly. Nothing ghostly.
Lavender was a possibility because we found out that she is a Scovelander. So
Right.
I was just satisfying my curiosity.
She spins on you, and she starts walking towards the alley, and you're in between her, or walking towards the way out, and you're between her and it.
I feel like it's a case of... Oh, sorry.
She says, "Are you going to get out of my way?"
I think Maya like sort of puts her hands up, right? And it's sort of like backing away at the same pace that she's approaching. And
Really?
I think, I think so.
No. I mean, she actually
she
said.
says, really.
She says, "Really?"
And I think Maya cocks her head at her and says, "I may be reckless and not understand the city, but I'm not an idiot. You're a dangerous woman. You could best me in a fight. I know I can fight well. I fight mean and dirty. But you are something else. And I respect that."
Tell Drav that moving Tarvel like this was smart.
I will indeed pass it on. And what will you do?
Got a list. I'll do what's next on the list.
Is it a long list?
It's a complicated list.
Does it include me?
You're not on it yet.
Well, I shall endeavor to be off of it as long as I can, although I fear that the way I'm operating, who knows where my name will end up. But I'm lucky in that few people know my name.
Well, Inspector Mayotui, I hope you stay off all my lists.
Do you ever think... What are you going to say? Do you ever think you want to suggest?
No, Drav would go about this line of questioning completely differently, so don't worry about it, just do your thing. Just remember that at least one of your goals is to try and like suss out either who's providing this list, or maybe try and tell her that we are hired by Roland Starn and like read her reaction, see if there is a reaction. Sort of like,
oh, that's a good idea.
find out
Yeah,
anything about her jobs that gives us next steps, right? Like, does that sound fair?
I think so. Yeah.
Nothing. I just, we gotta ask. If you've got her here and she's talking, you gotta ask.
Yeah, I think Maya's like, consider this a tiny peace offering. The person who put your name on our list is Von Rollenstrom.
Oh my goodness. The Iron Lady Starn, huh? She's still kicking around?
Indeed.
Of course. course. She was drinking in that damn scoff bar when I shot those billhooks, wasn't she?
That would seem to be her MO.
She like rubs the gun against her forehead like to like itch a scratch. What are the odds of all the gin joints, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm learning more and more each day that this place is a rather small one, despite the population it can barely maintain.
She wants me back in pocket.
I cannot speak to whose pocket she wishes that you reside in. Perhaps hers. You are very valuable and are very good at what you do, as I said. She is more interested in knowing whose pocket you presently reside in.
Oh.
Tell me, is that information you're willing to divulge? Or is that strictly off the table?
There's a Unity Memorial in Silkshore. It's a plaza. Tomorrow at noon, you and Drav. She walks away.
I think I let her. Like, I think I gave her enough respect to not even sort of like look to see where she's gone. Like, yeah, we had a tete-a-tete and we both left alive, and I think that's and injured.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think yeah. Sorry, break.
No, go ahead. You go.
No, she sort of like counts to 10 and then sort of like takes her leave and sort of casually strolls like in the direction of the docks.
Awesome. Can we take a short break?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
All right, that sounds good, folks. We will be back soon. Give me just a second.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
Wow, that was super intense. I am looking forward to this conversation. Give me just a second.
Totally.
I'll switch this over. All right, see you folks soon. And we're off.
Cool.
Right. Oh my god.
I need to use the restroom. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about
talking.
All
right, see you folks in a minute.
See you soon.